Yes, everyone, you know what time it is. It's your boys Jack and Dave here, giving our reactions to all the different creative predictions from around our lovely Spurs community. They sent in their predictions ahead of this Newcastle fixture, and it might be a bit different this time with the context of how West Ham went. I personally thought we actually played incredibly well despite not getting the result, and that's sort of how West Ham usually do over a lot of teams, is that they usually are the maybe the worst team or the team that don't really impress all that much, but sort of hang in there and eventually just sort of punish you for not taking your chances or not really having that domination. So we'll see what people have to say after this West Ham game for this Newcastle fixture. Two teams as well with a lot of injuries. So everybody get your thoughts down below. Let us know what your favorite prediction was. Smash that like button, please. And Dave, any thoughts before we go to Perchy, I believe is the first one.
Yeah, look, just quickly, look, disappointed after the West Ham game. Me personally, I blame the players. I think Ange Postecoglou set them up to go and win the game. They let us fans down and they owe us a performance. And especially since Newcastle gave us that embarrassing defeat last year at their place. What was it, 6-1? So we owe them. But look, let's see where people in the community are at heading into this game. Let's start with Perchy.
Let's start with the big Perch, see what he has to say.
How's it going, Dave and Jack? This is the Perch here from Football Heritage TV. Hope you boys are doing absolutely fine and hope you're both well. You want a prediction today? I'm a bit disappointed. Thursday night really wasn't great, was it? Losing to West Ham is horrible. We've now got a tough game tomorrow against Newcastle. Predictions. I'm going to say 2-2. I think Newcastle are going to be very good. I think we'll get goals tomorrow, but I'm really worried. We've got to get out of this. I hope I'm wrong and I hope we get a win because we really need to snap out of this. Way too many games without winning. I'm going 2-2, but we could still nick this. Come on, you Spurs, and everyone watching this video, make sure you subscribe to the Irish Hotspur. These guys are brilliant. Peace out, boys.
Nice one,
Speak to you
Perchy.
soon.
Well done, sir. Dave, what's your thoughts on Perchy's prediction there?
Guy, I'd prefer a win. I'm not sure I'd be snapping his hand off for a draw just because of what he says. We need to get out of the blocks. It's 5 games on the bounce now without a victory, 3 at home on the bounce without a victory. We have to put that right. We can't keep falling down this rabbit hole that we do every time, winter comes about, October, November, December. This is usually where managers get sacked or things turn terribly wrong for Tottenham. So the sooner we put ourselves out of this slump, the better. What we don't want is a repeat of last season.
No repeats of last season. Sorry about that, Perch. It's just a little noisy around me, so I'll let Dave sort of take control of the reaction to that one, my man. But hopefully you're keeping well, and do check out Football Heritage TV, I believe, where he's residing at the moment. Let's head on over to Shawnee, though, Spurs Talk Show.
Yeah, had a great day at the Tunnel Club, believe it or not, Jack, at the West Ham game. Shame we couldn't get the victory, but he did snap a picture with our boy Pedro Porro, rubbing shoulders with absolute legends as well. Hopefully, he's just as enthusiastic heading into this Newcastle game. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yes, guys, how you doing? Sean Butler here from the Spurs Talk Show. This is my Newcastle United prediction. If I'm entirely honest, guys, I've got a bad feeling. I think that the last couple of home games have indicated to me that Tottenham have got very low confidence, a lot of possession of the ball, but no willingness to be have conviction and intent to try and convert the chances. It feels like we're trying to kind of pull the ball around and look for the perfect space rather than sometimes just popping shots or banging crosses in when we have a low block to play against. West Ham have done it. David Moyes was a tactical masterclass. Unai Emery, it could have gone a different way on a different day, but similar sort of outcomes. Look, I think that you might end up seeing something similar. Newcastle playing the low block. Eddie Howe is a masterful tactician, and they've kind of seen a little bit of a template maybe emerge on how to play Tottenham at home. I think that Tottenham will score first, but whether we get the second goal remains to be seen. I don't feel great about it. I think Newcastle United have got their own injuries, but I still think that Tottenham and Newcastle, this is a really important game for both teams on the back of bad losses. I just feel like this one's probably got a score draw written on it, so I'm going to say 2-2. I think Richarlison will get on the score sheet this time, though. So that will be something to get excited about. But yeah, don't really feel like we're going to get the 3 points, unfortunately. But we live in hope.
Shawnee
2-2.
wants to be doing the pigeon, Shawnee, or Jack, on another Desmond prediction. Are you on board with that?
It's sort of, I think any prediction is honestly understandable ahead of this game. Like I said, I could see why Spurs fans could be nervous after the way West Ham went. Also, too, it's kind of a bit of pressure now on sort of Ange and on sort of the players to kind of pay us back or sort of, do us a favor after what was, kind of just a lot wanting, and not really getting in any, the fact we just couldn't get any sort of points from some of these games where we have played actually quite well has made us, start to question, a bit of the mentality of the players and kind of also as well, just sort of the, the focus really as well of them, to realize that, that's what's most important is actually getting the points as well as, playing the beautiful football. But it seems like we're kind of doing one without the other. And, people are definitely nervous ahead of this one. I could see Newcastle setting up any sort of way. I guess Sean thinks it's going to be a low block from them, but I could also see them trying to, press us and maybe force us into mistakes as well. So I'm curious how this one will go, to be honest, Shawnee. And I'm very jealous that you got to speak to our man Pedro, as well. Got to speak to the warden.
He had an absolute and a big smile as well. The Pedro Porro is so photogenic. It's absolutely unbelievable. But look, I do hear Sean's concerns. Teams that play low block against us. I know he sort of calls it a tactical masterclass. I'd say it's more us being naive and lacking that sort of killer instinct or that winner instinct that when people have left the club over the last few years, they've sort of alluded to. Harry Kane alluded to it. Winning isn't the be-all and end-all. Conte alluded to it before he famously stormed out. Jose as well. So there seems to be a recurrent pattern emerging here, and I'd say it's more sort of on the players, and there needs to be more accountability on them. But another 2-2, I hear it. I do hear it. I do think there will be a lot of goals in this one. Of course, both teams carrying a lot of injuries. But look, let's get into Dermatron from THFC Till I Die. Let's hear what he has to say.
Come on, you Spurs.
Hi, this is Dermot, aka Dermatron from THFC Till I Die. My pre-match prediction for Tottenham Hotspur against Newcastle United. And look, guys, I'm sorry. The prophet cannot be right all the time. He cannot be right. But I am guaranteeing you we will not lose against Newcastle. I have spoken. The players have listened to me. Ange has listened to me. The footballing gods have listened to me. We will not lose against Newcastle on Sunday. For me, it's an important game for both sides. But with Newcastle having a game on Wednesday in the Champions League, I'll do an eye game, by the way. Would that take the eye off the game on Sunday? I think so. And I think Ange will want to see a response from these players. We have to take our chances. We have to be more clinical. We have to be more selfish. Instead of passing it around the box, we have to shoot on sight. We need to get there. We will get there. Let's not panic. This is a bump in the road. We knew there'd be bumps. We will get there. And Spurs will rise again. The prophet has spoken. I told you we will not lose. So you listen to Prophet Dermatron and he will guide you right. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. The prophet has spoken, Dave. Self-proclaimed prophet, definitely in this case. But I kind of agreed with a lot of what he had to say when it came to, sort of being a bit more selfish in front of goal. I thought that was a great point. Not having that sort of clinical edge has been a bit of an annoyance for me. I'm happy with creating and, sort of keeping possession and dominating games like this, but there does need to be a bit more sort of selfishness in some of these forwards. That is their job to, just sort of put their head down, from time to time, create that bit of separation and space and have a crack at the keeper, of course, try to score. But even from that, something can happen. It can be a rebound, a mistake from the keeper, a mistake from a defender, not switched on, whatever it might be. But there's just not enough of that. It feels like we are just trying to create the perfect goal, like there's no defenders or no sort of, anything in front of it to sort of block it. And we're almost looking to tap it in, most of the time, not even go for any sort of type of effort whatsoever, even when we're picking up inside the box. So completely agree with Dermatron there. Sorry we couldn't bow down to you after your West Ham performance, sir, but the prophet will hopefully get it right this time.
Look, I hope so. Like you said, the prophet can always be right. I'd argue prophets are always right. That's why they're called a prophet. But look, he does make a great point about being selfish. Personally, I think they're all looking at someone else to take the responsibility. I think it's more down to players actually taking the responsibility. They're all looking for someone else to take it. We don't have anyone, since we saw Larry Kane, that wants to step up and take that mantle. But he does make a great point as well about Newcastle Champions League during the week, sort of do or die victory. So, will they take their eye off the ball on this one? Look, you'd probably say probably not. They'd like to go and get 3 points, especially after being humbled against Everton. But Newcastle only have one victory on the road this season, so be a very interesting game. Great points there made by Dermatron. But let's keep this moving. Let's see what Wild Holly Hotspur has to say.
Wild Holly Hotspur, love it.
Hello, yes, it's me, Holly from Holly's Hotspurs, here to give my match preview for Newcastle. West Ham in the week didn't go quite as planned. There was a lot of obviously opportunities and we just weren't clinical enough. I'm hoping against Newcastle things are going to be slightly different. But saying that, Newcastle didn't have a very good game the other day with Trippier having an absolute mare. So hopefully we can't kind of exploit that. I think both teams will be wanting to prove a point. The fact that they can bounce back after defeats in the week. But yeah, I don't see this one being an easy one. Anthony Gordon scares the hell out of me and I don't like him. So I feel like he might have a field day. Obviously with Romero scoring and Romero back in the back line, obviously I think the 2 goals that West Ham scored were, I don't want to say fluky, but they could have been avoided in a sense that it was just very unfortunate that it happened. So if we can just kind of iron that out and actually shoot rather than try and pass it into the net, we could be onto a winner. So yeah, come on you Spurs.
Another prediction where, referencing maybe just that lack of sort of just willingness to shoot when the opportunity presents itself. And it did not go as planned, Holly, but I think a lot of us, had that trademark 3-1 prediction. And I sort of said to whoever, I think I said to Dave, the bookies will be quite rich if that 3-1 prediction doesn't land for them, because it felt like every Spurs fan had gone for it. And it definitely went differently, did not go as planned. Spurs, the way they played, looked like they could have gotten a 3-1 though. Holly, so it's tough, and Newcastle, tough opponent. Anthony Gordon has, really improved, I think, week after week, really, as a player.
No, 100% he has. I think she makes a couple of great points. Anthony Gordon there, he's the man on a mission to try and make that Euro squad at the end of the season come the summer. So, and also Eddie Howe spoke in the press conference recently about how hungry he is, and he's a man out with a point to prove, which is always dangerous. I like the point Holly also makes about the backline, saying, because look, the Spurs fan in us wants to say, look, unlucky, it can happen to anybody. But it wasn't really, the first goal, Romero got bullied. It was just a long ball up to Bowden. He got bullied and that led to the goal. Second goal was because of Doji, Romero and Davies. They were all sleeping, nonchalant, arrogant, thought they had already won the game. So, both goals were definitely avoidable. And I do think we're actually at a point where we're starting to make similar mistakes as we did last season. Don't get me wrong. I get right now there's a creativity issue. But at the start of the season, we were speaking about how good that back line was, keeping clean sheets. We weren't scoring much more than what we already scored over the last couple of games. But the clean sheets and keeping the goals down to a minimum was what was getting us over the line and putting 3 points on the board. For the last while, we've stopped doing that. And that's what the actual issue is. Last season, when that front line wasn't scoring 3, 4, 5 goals every single game, everyone won at the front line and protected that back line. The reality is, if you keep the goals out, you give yourself a chance of winning football matches. So, great point by Holly, and let's get back to a clean sheet.
Get back to clean sheets. I like it. Next up, Marlon Green. See what this man has to say. He, I believe, went for a draw or some sort of kind of a negative result against West Ham. So you were close, Marlon. You were close. But I hope you're right this time. But maybe you've given us a win. Big up to you, Marlon.
Do you know what, Jack? I was thinking about this last night. I blame him for the recent losses, because he's not predicting wins, so I'm putting them on him. But let's see if he can surprise us today, Jack.
Too honest, Marlon. Oh, come on.
Hello, David and Jack. It's prediction time. Felt like I only spoke to you yesterday. I did. It's that time of the week, Newcastle Sunday. Again. I know, I'm going to look at the Chelsea game and how knackered we were there, and I believe we might be knackered on Thursday, but the only good thing is that Newcastle played on Thursday too. Both teams looking for a result, both teams got injuries. So I'm going to surprise you lot here. Really surprise you this week. I'm going for a Spurs win.
Come on, thank God.
I think
Thank
we'll
God.
beat them. I think we'll beat them 2-1. I think we'll go 1-0 down and we'll come back in this one. And I think that's going to be the message. And I think Newcastle's problems are bigger than ours. So that's why I'm going for a 2-1. And with the Bratker in goal now, Newcastle are a different animal. They're not the same animal. So, and I think because there's no excuses in this game, we can't go, injuries, because they've got worse than us. So I'm going to surprise you this week. I'm going for a 2-1 win Spurs. But then we'll be back to our normal selves the week after. But we'll come to that prediction after I see what we do this weekend. Otherwise, yeah, he can't lose another game at home. After going to, 2-3 years without losing one, he can't do that. That'd be 4 on the bounce. That's hard to take in Big Ange's eyes. But not if I'm being positive, I just think Newcastle's problems are bigger than ours. So I'm going Spurs 2, Newcastle 1.
Oh, wow. Very thankful that Marlon has gone for that one, Dave. Could really give us a good chance here if Marlon thinks that we have a hope. But yeah, he's sort of combining the fact that there's so much pressure on us to win. That will maybe get us over the line. The injuries to Dubravka and other players in that Newcastle team also play a huge factor. So he's just thinking Spurs sort of just kind of have to win, and perhaps they'll sort of have that energy from the start, kind of a team that's desperate to sort of get some 3 points.
Yeah, look, I think he's right. The pressure's on everybody right now in and around the club, and a win would really sort of, put a pin in that and release it. So we definitely need to get that done for sure. But the fact that Marlon actually predicts a win, I actually think we're going to win now. Like I said, I blame him beforehand. But he also makes a good point, about the injury to Pope and that as well. If Newcastle really want to do us a favour, please play Loris Karius. That would be absolutely unbelievable if they'd done that. Yeah, but look, we have to get over the line. He's absolutely spot on. I see a common trend here from everybody, saying that we have to get this 5 games without a win off our back. But let's go in and let's see what Ben from We Are Tottenham TV has to predict for this game. Big up, Ben. Thanks for the prediction, my man.
How's it going, guys? Ben from We Are Tottenham TV here to give my match prediction for the Newcastle game. 4:30 kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I can't wait to be there, even though, we're on a bit of a bad form. 4 losses and 1 draw in the last 5 games. Some of them have put some good performance in there. I mean, yesterday at West Ham was very, very frustrating. But I think Ange is going to absolutely batter and drill it into them that they cannot have anything less than the 3 points this weekend. So I'm staying positive, I'm staying confident, and I think with Newcastle's poor away form that we can actually get the 3 points this weekend. So I'm actually going, call me crazy, call me deluded, but I'm going for 3-1 to Tottenham. So let's bring home the 3 points this weekend. Come on, you.
Let's go.
Sorry, I muted myself. This will be the 3-1. Maybe it's just a 3-1, maybe just a little bit late this time around. But similar to Marlon in that there's going to be a lot of pressure on the players. Maybe and a lot of that pressure could be coming from Ange onto his own players to deliver 3 points this time and kind of just not messing about, really. Just get the goals, get your win so that we can start to build here.
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I love the fact, that Ben highlighted, that Ange is going to drill it into them. And, what I will say is the sign of a great leader, Jack, is someone who has a plan in the time of adversity to bring you out of it. And Ange Postecoglou has spoke about it regularly in the press conferences, even after the West Ham game. So hopefully the boys actually take it on board, because I do think we're at a point, like we've been at so many times around this part of the season, where Ange is in grave danger of losing some of the players in terms of believing in them. And I just do not want that to happen. We're at a critical point, and hopefully the players can prove that they absolutely love Ange Postecoglou and get over the line for him. And I feel for Ben as well. The last few weeks he's been going, trucking away. And, this will probably be one of his last ones with the babby sort of being due. So I really do hope we get over the line and send my man away for a little period of time with a victory under his belt and some nice celebrations. That would be awesome.
This man has the pressure on him, and he needs to see that pressure Spurs deliver as well. Big up to Ben. And I think we're going to close off with Lee the Dorset Spur. Thank you, Lee.
By the way, just want to give him credit. He's always the first one to send in the video, so credit to Lee, and everyone else follow his example. Let's go, Lee.
Big up, Lee.
Hi all, Lee the Dorset Spur back with another prediction, and in the immortal words of a very great man, Tottenham is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, which is technically not true because we do know what we're going to get. We're going to get high press, high octane, attacking football. But what we won't know is, will we get the result? It's going to be a really difficult one to call, in my opinion. Newcastle are coming off a bit of a bad result against Everton, so they will want to get back on track as well. So this is going to be one of those games where you can't really predict it. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with a Desmond, a 2-2. Let's see what happens. Up the Spurs.
How's it going, Dave and Jack?
Thank you, Lee. Big guy, you look very cozy in that video, Dave. It looks like a Snuggie or some sort of kind of maybe morning kind of weekend type of thing that he has on. Looking very comfortable, looking ready to sit down, chill out, and hopefully see a Spurs win.
Do you know what, lad? I'm glad you brought that up because I was sitting there trying to figure out whether it was a Snuggie, whether it was a dressing gown, or whether it was just a really, really expensive, comfortable hoodie. But he looks absolutely relaxed. Maybe a bit too relaxed considering we're 5 games without a victory. But look, hopefully, one of the biggest assets of Ange Postecoglou is the aura of calmness, right? And Lee is definitely trying to exude that onto us fans out there and hopefully the players ahead of the game tomorrow evening. Big up, Lee, my man. Jack, Desmond Tutu seems to be the common prediction this weekend.
The Desmond has definitely been the common prediction, and there's nothing wrong with it. Means plenty of goals. Could mean that Spurs could take something from it. It's hard to, I think come up against a team like Newcastle and just be we need the win, and I think we should be wanting a win, but it's hard to really go into it, I think, fully expecting one or fully, envisioning one, because Newcastle are a tough team. And I think in the pre-match thoughts, which we'll discuss, I actually don't think their injuries are actually as bad as ours in some cases. I actually think they've, started to pick up some of their old players that, they've relied on in the past anyways. But we'll talk about that with the members and, have a good little rant about that. But everybody, do appreciate you guys sending in your videos, all the different creators around the community. The links to their channels will be in the description and the comments. And smash that like button on the way out. Let us know what prediction was your favorite in those comments. And we'll be seeing you. Come on, you Spurs. In the big end, we trust. We never stop. See you, everybody. Everywhere we go!